Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke. The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, we wrap this week up with comedy as a motion picture, Screen Director's Playhouse episode, The Ghost Breakers, starring Bob Hope, reprising his role in the motion picture, an episode of Fibber McGee and Molly, an episode of Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life, My Friend Irma, starring Marie Wilson, and an episode of Claudia. That's all straight ahead on this Friday, and this is the 14th day of June, the 166th day of the year, 200 days remaining, and most importantly, this is National Flag Day. Celebrated every year on June 14th, commemorates the adoption of the flag, which happened on this date by resolution of the Second Continental Congress in 1777. In 1916, President Wilson issued a proclamation that officially established this as Flag Day. In August of 1949, National Flag Day established by an act of Congress. It is not an official federal holiday, though on June 14, 1937, Pennsylvania became the first and only state to celebrate Flag Day as a state holiday. Now, it was on this date in 1775 the Army was founded. Warren Harding became the first president to be heard on the radio on this date in 1922. In 1923, the first hillbilly record to sell 1 million copies recorded in Atlanta by Fiddlin' John Carson.
Way over on the hill now. Old Fanny in the backyard.
His recordings of You Will Never Miss Your Mother Until She's Gone and Old John Clark both sold over 1 million copies, each awarded a gold disc by the Recording Industry Association of America. That was from 1923. The first commercial computer, 101 years ago, the first commercial computer, UNIVAC 1, unveiled on this date in 1951. In 1954, President Eisenhower signed the order inserting the words "Under God" into the Pledge of Allegiance, and was on this date in 2017. Republican member of Congress and House Majority Whip Steve Scalise of Louisiana shot while practicing for a charity baseball game. Now, on this date, passing away, Benedict Arnold, the original voice of Fred Flintstone, Alan Reed, and composer and songwriters Alan J. Lerner and Henry Mancini, both passing away on this date in history. Birthdays today include one, Burl Ives.
A little bit of tear let me down, spoil my act as a clown. I had it made up not to make a frown, but a little bit of tear let me down.
We heard Burl Ives recently on an episode of the Dean Martin Jerry Lewis show where he sang his song Lavender Blue. That was 1949, as I recall. Burl Ives, born on this date. Let's see. It was 1909, so a long time ago. Also born on this date in history, Harriet Beecher Stowe, photojournalist Margaret Bourke White. You remember him from Burke's Law and Bat Masterson. Gene Barry, born on this date. From Witchcraft and Sweet Charity, the composer Cy Coleman. And Junior Walker and the All-Star saxophonist, lead singer Junior Walker, born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
And from Pretty Little Liars, Lucy Hale is 35. He was Artie Abrams in the television show Glee. Kevin McHale, 36. From Baywatch and Ryan's Hope, Yasmine Bleeth, 56. From Culture Club, Boy George, 63. President Donald Trump, President 45, is 78 years of age. Florence, the maid in the Jeffersons, Marla Gibbs, turns 93. And the musician and keyboardist for the Zombies, Rod Argent. He did some solo work, too. Rod Argent turns 79 today.
1968. The time of the season when love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy and let me try with pleasured hands to take you in the sun to promised lands, to show you everyone it's the time of the season for loving.
Rod Argent wrote that song. He also played keyboards. It went to as high as number 3 back in 1968. Rod Argent of the Zombies, 79 years old today. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 14th day of June as their birthday. And if this is your birthday,
We baked you a birthday cake.
If you get a tummy ache and you moan and groan and woe,
Don't forget we told you so. Happy birthday!
happy birthday!
Make a wish, dear, and blow out the candles.
Here they go.
up next, Screen Directors Playhouse production of The Ghost Breakers, starring Bob Hope. That's all coming up next on this Friday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Friends, this is Bob Hope. If an atom bomb were to hit your home city, would you know what to do? Remember, one explosion of an atom bomb could kill 75,000 and maim 100,000. This is only one kind of a disaster which could strike. In addition to many forms of enemy action, there are the dangers of fire, flood, earthquake, and traffic. Knowing what to do before, during, and after a disaster can improve your chances of survival. There is something you can do and do now. You can learn a pattern of survival. Your local Office of Civil Defense is ready to help. Persuade your club, your church, your friends, and your neighbors to help to learn to live. Remember, this is the atomic age. No one can escape its hazards, but everyone can prepare. Listen carefully. What you are about to hear can save your life. Do you know the siren signal in case of atomic attack? Do you know how to find shelter? Do you know how to give first aid? Do you know what will be done for your safety? For further details, consult your local Office of Civil Defense.
And, of course, you can check for a lot of that information at civildefensemuseum.com. In 1940, George Marshall directed The Ghost Breakers, starring Bob Hope with Paulette Goddard, Richard Carlson, and Paul Lucas. That's took him, what was it, 11 years to produce it on the Screen Directors Playhouse, and that's what you're going to hear today. This episode of the Screen Directors Playhouse, 73 years ago, June 14th, 1951, Bob Hope starring in The Ghost Breakers.
Screen Directors Playhouse. Star, Bob Hope. Production, The Ghost Breakers. Director, George Marshall. This is the Screen Directors Playhouse, one of the weekly features on NBC's All-Star Festival of Comedy, Music, Mystery, and Drama. Brought to you by Chesterfield, by the makers of Anacin for fast relief from the pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia, and by RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, first in television. Tonight, the Screen Directors Playhouse is pleased to present transcribed a comedy of terrors, The Ghost Breakers, starring Bob Hope. Now the first act of the Screen Directors Playhouse production of The Ghost Breakers, starring Bob Hope in his original role of Larry Lawrence, with Shirley Mitchell as Mary Carter. If ever a name struck terror into the heart of the underworld, it's the name of Larry Lawrence, intrepid radio reporter and crime buster. Yet only his closest friends know that behind his simple, vacant, foolish smile hides the real Larry Lawrence. Simple, vacant, and foolish. We find him now in his office, professed before leaving on his vacation.
Oh, so you clam up on Larry Lawrence, huh? Come on, open up. Open up, I say, or I'll drill a hole clear through you. Okay, you asked for it. Take this. And this. And this.
Is there something wrong, Mr. Lawrence?
Yeah, I can't get this window open.
Here, let me try.
It's no use, Miss Coles. It's stuck. I'm a strong man, but...
There you are.
Miss Coles, I thought I warned you about weightlifting on office hours.
There's a Miss Mary Carter to see you, Mr. Lawrence.
Miss Carter? Is she a redhead, or are you wasting my time? You know, I'm due on the air in 15 minutes, and I'm waiting for Raspy Kelly.
Well, she says it's very important, Mr. Lawrence. And she's a blonde.
Oh, then put her in category 7B. I'll see her when I get back from my vacation, and tell her to leave her telephone number and waist measurement.
Mr. Lawrence, please. Please, I'm Mary Carter.
I'm sorry, miss, but I'm working on my secret invention.
A real invention?
Yep, it's a bottle preparation for women who want to get their face lifted.
How does it work?
I mix nitroglycerin with cold cream. That just goes to show how tough a woman has to be when she deals with Larry Lawrence.
Oh, then you're really Larry Lawrence. The brave, strong, dashing Larry Lawrence I've always heard about.
Well, what are you waiting for, Miss Coles? Go somewhere and flex your muscles. And tell me when Raspy Kelly comes in.
Yes, Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence, I need your help.
Ah, yes, don't you all? Poor girl.
You don't understand. Mr. Lawrence, you're famous as a crime breaker and gang breaker.
And there was that wonderful week in Duluth when I was a home breaker.
Now I want to purchase your services. I want you to become a ghost breaker.
Ghost breaker? I'm sorry, but the only spirits I mess around with come equipped with olives, not shrouds.
I'm serious, Mr. Lawrence. I've inherited an island off the coast of Cuba, Black Island, and there's a castle on it called Castle Maldito.
Oh, sure, I've heard of that. Isn't that where Cougat raises little maracas? Now, Miss Carter, you're not going to tell me that castle is haunted.
Well, this afternoon, the deed was turned over to me by a Senor Parada. He told me that no one who ever eats dinner in the castle ever lives until breakfast.
You mean there's no post-toasties because of the ghosties?
Yes. Yes, there is a ghost. Senor Parada says it's the ghost of Don Santiago, my great-great-grandfather. That's why I'm afraid, Mr. Lawrence. Now, if you'll come with me to Castillo Maldito, I'll see that your time is well paid for.
Yeah, but why let a few ghost rumors frighten you? After all, what's a ghost? Just a Ku Klux that's lost his clan. What do you need me for?
Here, I received this card in the mail today.
Let's see. Death waits for you at Black Island. Well, here's your card, Miss Carter. Thank you and good night.
You mean you're afraid? You, Larry Lawrence?
Afraid? Me? Listen, I'm one of the bravest gumshoes in the business.
Well, you're acting like a child.
Okay, so I'm one of the bravest bubblegum shoes in the business. It's just that I don't like spirits to send fan mail, and besides, tomorrow I'll be in the mountains, so take your ghost postage to somebody else. Ah, that mountain there, that's the life. You go to the window at 6 o'clock in the morning, open it, climb in, and go to bed.
Mr. Kelly is here, Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, fine, I'll see him right away. Miss Carter, if you want an expert in things that go boo-boo-boo, I've got a friend named Crosby. Why don't you see him?
No one else will do, Mr. Lawrence. I'm sailing for Cuba tonight on the Rexitania. If you change your mind, I'll be waiting for you in my stateroom.
Hiya, Larry. What do you say?
Well, hello, Raspy. Say, you sound better. Did you get the frog in your throat a fresh lily pad?
I got another Frenchy Duval story for you. It's a killer. Oh.
Yeah, and so is Frenchy Duval. Say, does he know you're giving me these stories?
Sure, he loves it. Good publicity.
I know. I plug him or he plugs me. What have he got?
Frenchy has himself a new racket. Here's how it works.
Here's the last-minute scoop. Frenchie Duval has a nice new racket, Baby Laundries. You know the kind I mean, with a slogan. This is the little one's laundromat. Frenchie discovered that there were about 2,000 of them in the state all making money. Without even telling his closest pals, he moved in and three-cornered the market. And so today, Frenchie is really cleaning up the hard way. This is Larry Lawrence saying good night.
Larry Lawrence will return to the air 2 weeks from tonight with more lowdown on the underworld. Now, a word about Cronin's coffee.
Well, that's that. One more week on the air without a rest, and I'd begin to look like Bob Hope.
Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, hello, Miss Cole. Did you hear the broadcast? Wasn't I great? Wasn't I terrific?
Frenchie Duval is on the phone.
Wasn't I just leaving? Wonder if he's sore. Courage, Camille. Hello, Frenchie. What's new?
Got a tip for you, Larry boy.
Shoot. I have to open my big mouth. What was that?
That was Raspy Kelly saying goodbye.
Raspy Kelly? But you're not mad at me, are you, Frenchie?
Oh, no. I told you I got a tip for you. Here, get this. A certain radio reporter was found in a ditch riddled with bullets.
Yeah? When did it happen?
Probably tomorrow.
Wow, that's what I call hot news. Tell me, hey, Frenchie. Oh, not me, not little old Larry.
Gonna put somebody on the spot, boy.
Miss Coles, hand me that bottle of spot remover.
Hey, Lawrence, I'm taking care of you myself. Personally.
Oh, Frenchie. Frenchie boy, speak to me. Hello, Mort. Come to think of it, hello, mortician. Why did I bother paying this year's income tax?
Where are you going?
Cuba. Miss Coles, when it comes to ghosts, I'd rather see one than be one.
Oh, Larry, I'm so glad you decided to come.
Some stateroom you got on the ship. You ought to see mine. It's so far down I can use the propeller to whip up my shaving cream. Say, did you see President Truman in swimming when we passed Key West?
No, which one was he?
The one in evening clothes.
Yes?
Radiogram for you, miss. And there's one for Mr. Lawrence, too.
Oh, thank you, Stuart.
Who'd know I was aboard?
Here's your telegram.
Oh, isn't that nice? Mine must be from the Cuban Chamber of Commerce.
What does it say?
See Cuba and die. Hey, wait a minute. It's signed Frenchie Duval. Stop the ship, man overboard. Stop the ship. Guzzle the mainsail. Box the copper.
Larry, please.
What?
Larry, look at my telegram.
What are you excited about? It just says, an empty coffin waits on Black Island. Gee, does Pierce Brothers know about this? You think we should make the one friendly call that covers all?
Larry, I'm scared.
And it's signed, Senor Muertes.
Muerte. In Spanish, that means death.
I know his brother, Rigor Mortis. You poor kid, you really are in trouble, aren't you?
I'd be in a lot more trouble without you to help me.
Yeah, I'm brave. Two-gun Larry Lawrence. When I find out who's threatening you, I'll break him in two and use half in the castle and half in the bathroom. Sure, that's me. Courage on the loose. Only it isn't so.
What do you mean, Larry?
I'm running away from myself, from some gangsters in New York.
Oh, I didn't know.
Look, Mary, we're both in trouble. Let's play it together, huh? You stick by me, and I'll stick by me, too. Seriously, Mary, You know, you're beautiful.
I'm frightened.
Hello?
Hello? This is Senor Parada.
Mary, it's Parada, the guy you were telling me about.
Who is this speaking?
Never mind about me. What's the idea of scaring Miss Carter with all that ghost stuff?
Ghost? I'm sorry, but I must have the wrong stateroom.
Hello, Senor Parada.
Parada? That's strange. I wonder why he's on board.
Yes?
Oh, I noticed Miss Carter's name on the passenger list. Is she here?
Why, yes, I'm Miss Carter. Who are you? Why, you're...
That's right, Jeff Montgomery. May I come in?
Oh, please do.
We met at the Store Club a few weeks ago.
Yes, of course. Mr. Montgomery, this is Mr. Lawrence.
You traveling to Cuba, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, my home's in Havana.
Oh, we're going to Havana, too. And then on to Castle Maldito on Black Island.
Say, I'd heard that jinx was wished off on... Not you. That place is evil. There's the legends about the ghost. And there's said to be a zombie on the island. The son of the native woman who looks after the place.
Zombie?
Yes. Some voodoo priests seem to have the power to bring the dead back to life. You see them once in a while walking around with despondent, hopeless, staring eyes.
You mean like Republicans?
Please be careful, Miss Carter. If you insist on going to Black Island, be sure you go well protected.
Well, what do I look like, an egg beater? There's nothing in that island but ghosts, evil spirits, and zombies. Ghosts, evil spirits, and zombies. When's the next boat back to New York?
But what about Frenchie Duval?
Him. He's just trying to kill me, that's all. Between Black Island and Frenchie Duval, I'll take...
Yes, Larry.
I'll take...
Darling.
Black Island, here I come.
The next time you suffer from pains of headache, neuritis, or neuralgia, take Anacin. You'll bless the day you heard of this incredibly fast way to relieve these pains. Now, the reason Anacin is so wonderfully fast-acting and effective is this. Anacin is like a doctor's prescription. That is, Anacin contains not just one, but a combination of medically proven active ingredients in easy-to-take tablet form. Thousands of people have received envelopes containing Anacin tablets from their own dentist or physician, and in this way discovered the incredibly fast relief Anacin brings from pains of headache, neuritis, or neuralgia. So the next time a headache strikes, take Anacin for this wonderfully fast relief. Anacin, A-N-A-C-I-N. Anacin comes in handy boxes of 12 and 30. Economical family-size bottles of 50 and 100. Get Anacin at any drug counter. Now, the second act of Ghost Breakers, starring Bob Hope. Black Island. Its silhouette broken by the menacing outline of Castle Maldito against the night sky. And approaching the island, a small rowboat carrying Larry Lawrence and Mary Carter.
Boy, no wonder the native boatman won't come here at night. Look at the place. What a ruin. Looks like CBS pulled a raid on it.
Just a few more strokes, Larry. We're almost there. Here's the dock.
Here. Let me help you out.
Oh, thank you.
There. Lafayette, we are here. I think Lafayette's here, too.
It's probably the old woman caretaker that Jeff told us about. She may be just trying to scare us.
She's wasting her time. We're scared already. Uh-oh. There she is, Mother Zombie.
The moon has risen. My son is walking. The zombie walks.
Taxi strike, huh?
Go away. Go away or zombie get you. What you want?
Could we interest you in a subscription to Weird Stories magazine?
This is my island now. I've inherited the Castle Maldito.
No. My island.
Sounds like Marilyn Monroe's mother. Gee, great night for a murder.
Who told you?
Oh, I just... Huh? I thought I was going to get the laugh, you know?
You look for other men?
What?
One man come in big planes. Other men come in boats. 2 boats.
Tell me, does the Greyhound bus make a rest stop here?
You go. I get zombie.
Give my regards to Boris Karloff. Come on. Let's get into the castle. Hand me the flashlight, Mary. There.
Oh, God, what a place.
And the front porch is down on his knees.
Larry, look over there. Turn your flashlight to the left.
A suitcase.
It's almost new. One of the people who came to the island must have left it here.
Let's see the initials. FD.
Frenchy Duval.
Frenchy, come on, let's get out of here.
Lawrence, stop, I'll shoot.
There he is.
Put out the light.
Okay, here, behind this post.
Thought you'd get away from Frenchy Duval, did you? Where are you, Lawrence? Come out.
I'm not here, I'm over there. Let's go. Here, in this room. Well, now we know who one of our guests was. What about the other two, huh?
Yes.
I don't know, but I think I could spit and hit one of them.
Oh, it's just the wind.
If it is, it's the first time I ever heard a breeze with adenoids.
You, strangers. I kill strangers.
Oh, Larry, it's the zombie. It's the living dead. I never saw anything like it.
You never played Philadelphia.
Strangers, die.
Hey, strangers, that's us.
Zombie, kill.
Sorry, but I gotta see your union card.
Oh, Larry, you stunned him with your flashlight.
Help me drag him into the closet.
Okay. And you told me you were a coward.
Yeah, what do you know? I'm brave. Come on, let's see what else is going on in Nightmare Alley.
Larry, listen.
If this is a short interlude of organ music, let's switch to another station.
Come on, Larry. Let's find out who's playing that organ. There it is.
Yeah, and those things around it are either coffins or boxes of king-size Cuban cigars. Nobody here now. Wonder who was playing it.
Larry, it's playing by itself. I don't like it.
Petrillo won't like it either. Maybe somebody put a nickel in it.
There's no one there.
Well, that's ridiculous. Only a ghost could do that, and there's no such thing. If there really are ghosts, I'd lose my mind. I'd end up in the snake pit. Move over, Olivia. Hey, do you see what I see?
On the organ bench. It's coming out of thin air.
Too many reducing tablets.
Larry, it's a ghost.
Man, marching man, find the key and marching man.
Maybe they're drafting again. What's he talking about?
I don't know. Ask him.
You ask him. I feel too ghastly to be ghostly.
Marching man, the key is marching man.
Look, it's getting up.
And floating toward that empty coffin.
It's getting in.
Gee, that ghost gave some performance.
Yeah? Well, wait till you see me in Hamlet.
Come on. I'm going to find out what's really in that box.
Look, on the side, there's a plate. Why, it's the coffin of Don Santiago, my ancestor who built the castle.
Let's get the lid up.
Larry, there's nothing but a skeleton.
Yeah, old man Mo sure is dead.
Larry, I think he was trying to tell me something. Something about the marching men. He wants me to look for something.
Look, if he forgot anything when he left, there's no sense looking for it now. Let's go. Don't forget that Frenchie Duval is looking for us, and there's 2 other characters around somewhere.
Larry, turn your flashlight over there, above the organ. Isn't that an inscription?
Can you make it out?
I think... Yes, let me see. God's treasures in abundance lie. Something heavenly key before they die.
There's more to this than meets the eye.
The ghost. It said something about a key, Larry.
How can we look for a key? We haven't even got a keyhole.
Well, keys could mean music.
Look, let's keep moving around. If we stay in one spot, we're dead. Dead. I wonder who thought up that expression.
The marching men must have something to do with it.
We'll ask them on the 4th of July. Come on.
Larry, there, on the wall. Aren't those marching men?
Those little figures carved into the stone?
Now, if I draw a horizontal line through this marching man, and one parallel to it through this one, and another one, and 2 more...
This is a fine time to start playing tic-tac-toe.
No, don't you see? It becomes a bar of music. That's what the ghost was trying to tell us. The key is a chord on this organ.
Mary, keep playing. Look, down Santiago's coffin. It's shifting off its base, and I don't feel so good myself. Keep playing. Higher, higher. That's enough. Look.
It's a secret opening.
Yeah.
With a flight of stairs.
There's nothing down there but some dusty old dungeons. Let Jack Benny keep his money. Come on.
Larry, you go first.
Okay. But remember, I'm leadoff man on the way back. Say, there's a lantern down here.
Yes, and railroad tracks, like in a mine.
Yeah, railroad tracks. It reminds me of my hotel room in Scranton. Come on, keep going.
Look out, you'll trip over that rail. Oh, did you hurt yourself? What did you land on?
This is a comedy. What do you think? Mary, look at this.
What is it?
I've seen this stuff before. Silver ore, the real thing. Mary, you're rich.
Congratulations, Miss Carter.
Senor Parada.
So you're Parada. What's the gun for?
You can't get away with it. I'll shoot.
Now listen, Parada.
No, not you. Behind you. Look out!
Larry, it's Jeff. Jeff Montgomery.
Yes, it's Jeff. It's too bad I had to wound you, Parada, but you'll soon be put out of your misery.
Miss Carter, I came here to warn you. He's mad. Insane.
Against the wall. All 3 of you. I warned you, Mary, but you chose to ignore my messages.
What's this all about?
About a vein of silver as wide as the island. I discovered it, and it's mine. You hear? This mine is mine, and what's mine stays mine.
Okay, so it's yours, but let Mary go.
No. Nobody's going to carry any tales out of here.
All right, come on out of there. I got you bottled up. Come on.
Who's that?
Frenchie Duval. It's the police. They've got you trapped, Montgomery.
They'll never get me. Not now. This is mine. They'll have to shoot it out.
You tell them, kid.
Get through. Finish.
Never.
Oh, Larry, they killed each other. Frenchie and Jeff.
I'll match you to see who faints first.
Oh, Larry.
Move over. Stop hogging the floor.
We're on our way, Larry.
And a fond farewell to Cuba. We'll leave your castle to Mother Zombie and her bouncing baby boy.
Yes. And with Parada taking care of the mine, we'll never have to come back. And now that I'm rich, I'm going to back you in a television show.
Yeah, after all those ghosts, it'd be nice to try out a new medium.
Oh, what in the world will we do with $100 million?
What, eh?
What will we do with $100 million?
Well, we can always open another hotel in Texas.
Larry, I still don't understand about the ghost. It must have been real.
No, honey, it was just one of Montgomery's tricks. There's no such things as ghosts. Why didn't we have her sit in the audience?
Thank you, Bob Hope. And now a word from RCA Victor. The RCA Victor Fairfield is better looking in every way, from the clear, bright pictures you'll see on the Fairfield's big 17-inch screen to the beautiful, sleek lines of its magnificent cabinet. Any way you look at it, the RCA Victor Fairfield is the last word in superb television consoles. For performance, for beauty, for quality, the Fairfield sets the pace. It's million-proof television, RCA Victor television, that has been proven in over 2 million homes. Yes, the Fairfield is better-looking television. The pictures are the steadiest because they're locked in place by RCA Victor's exclusive eyewitness picture synchronizer. And the console cabinet looks like $1 million. Every detail of the Fairfield's classic design reflects the artistry and craftsmanship that has made RCA Victor famous. So to make your life livelier, your living room lovelier, stop in at your RCA Victor dealers right away and choose the exciting new RCA Victor Fairfield. Screen Directors Playhouse was brought to you by Chesterfield. Always milder, better tasting, cooler smoking, plus no unpleasant aftertaste. By the makers of Anacin for fast relief from the pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia. And by RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, first in television. The Ghost Breakers was presented through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, whose current release is Ace in the Hole, starring Kirk Douglas and Jan Sterling, which is having its world premiere in Albuquerque, New Mexico tonight. Bob Hope will soon be seen with Hedy Lamarr in the Paramount picture My Favorite Spy. The Ghost Breakers was adapted for radio by Richard Allen Simmons. Screen Directors Playhouse is produced under the supervision of Howard Wiley. Portions of tonight's broadcast were transcribed. This is Jimmy Wallington speaking and inviting you to join Screen Directors Playhouse next week when we present DOA, starring Edmund O'Brien, with Peggy Castle and screen director Rudolph Mattei. Tomorrow, you too can live the life of Riley on NBC.
Now, the original version of the play it was adapted from was The Ghost Breaker, a 1909 haunted house farce written by Paul Dickey and Charles W. Goddard, adapted into several films, a 1914 film, a 1922 film, and this 1940 film that we're talking about that Bob Hope starred in, The Ghost Breakers. Later, the basis of the 1953 Martin and Lewis film Scared Stiff, and also an inspiration for the 1984 Ghostbusters. So there you go, a little bit about that. Paulette Goddard played Bob's love interest in this in the original motion picture. So there you go, and there you have it. The Ghost Breakers, the adaptation, as heard on the Screen Directors Playhouse 73 years ago, June 14th, 1951. Going to go back to 1937 next as we head out and see what's going on in the household of Fibber McGee and Molly.
This is basic civil defense information from the Department of Defense, Office of Civil Defense, Washington. Wherever you go, whatever you do, it's always wise to keep an eye open for the black and yellow public fallout shelter signs. Each one marks a place that's been thoroughly checked for proper shielding against radioactive fallout, and in many cases, already stocked with emergency food rations, water, and basic survival equipment. Knowing where the nearest one is could save you crucial minutes in time of emergency. If your local government has instructed you to go to a specific public shelter in event of nuclear attack, find out exactly where it's located and the best way to reach it promptly. Check on whether there's a shelter in or near your child's school, and if not, find out what other actions would be taken by the school authorities to protect him in emergency. In short, take time now to make a family emergency plan, and then make sure every member of your family knows it.
Many times on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we air episodes of Fibber McGee and Molly from the earlier episodes, from the 1945, 1950, as late as 1959 from time to time. Some of the Monitor sketches that they did. But today we're going to hear an early version. This is going to go back 87 years, June 14th, 1937. This episode of Fibber McGee and Molly, it sounds like they're heading out for summer.
Johnson Wax program. Presenting Marion and Jim Jordan as Fibber McGee and Molly. Jimmy Greer and his orchestra open the show with Dreamy Eyes. Just imagine the thrill of winning a handsome covered wagon trailer, a real home on wheels, equipped with everything you need for happy, comfortable living. Icebox, stove, closet, water tank, and 2 double beds with special springs. Each week, the makers of Johnson's Auto Wax and Cleaner are giving away one of these magnificent deluxe covered wagon trailers, valued at $1,000, delivered to your door. You can't appreciate the luxury of this covered wagon trailer built by the world's leading specialists in trailer coach manufacture until you see it yourself. Now, all you have to do to enter this great contest is to complete this sentence in 50 words or less. I like Johnson's Auto Wax and Cleaner because. Now, just finish this sentence telling your experience with these 2 remarkable products. Complete contest rules are printed in each combination package of Johnson's Auto Wax and Cleaner for sale at your regular Johnson Wax dealer, auto supply store, garage, or filling station. Now remember, you have a good chance to win a $1,000 deluxe covered wagon trailer this very week. So don't delay. This week's contest closes midnight Saturday, June 12th. Each Saturday night thereafter marks the close of another contest. Send your entry to S.C. Johnson & Son, Racine, Wisconsin. Well, the vacation bug has bitten the McGees, and they've rented a cottage from a real estate agent, sight unseen. And here, driving along in the heart of the deep, dark forest, in search of this backwoods paradise, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
Gotta get them brakes fixed.
Well, which way do we go now? Can't we drive up to the cottage?
No, don't you remember what the salesman says? He says there'd be a short but delightful jaunt through the pine-scented woods to reach the quiet solitude of lovely By-the-Wee Cottage.
I know, but you'll remember he says he'd never seen the place himself. All he knew was what other people had said about it.
Sure, and the last people who had this here By-the-Wee Cottage says they'd never think of going anyplace else for a summer vacation.
I've been thinking that over, too. Well, I hope we'll be alone up here.
Why?
Oh, I love to go out and walk around in the bathing suit.
You do, huh? I knew it was pretty big, but I didn't know you could walk around in it. Don't you get it, Molly? I said...
Ain't funny, McGee.
Okay. Looked pretty funny to me when I was packing it. Well, come on, let's go.
Say, I wonder if it's safe to leave the car here.
Oh, I think so. The most anybody can do is steal the tires. And this one on the left rear here is...
You kicked it too hard, dear.
Yeah.
Well, come on. You take the box of groceries and the camera and the suitcase, and I'll carry the pillows and the magazines and my knitting bag.
Well, how about my fishing tackle and stuff?
You can carry that, too.
Oh, yeah? Shall I run home and get the piano? Here, put this can with the groceries.
What's in it? It don't seem Oh, worms.
Why, certainly worms. What'd you think I was going to use for bait? French pastry?
Heavenly days, you and your fishing.
Don't scoff at my fishing, madam. I used to be the champion fin finagler of Pittsburgh. Pole Toter McGee, I was known as in them days.
Oh, my.
Pole Toter McGee, the peak of piscatorial perfection, persistently pursuing pike, pickerel, and pretty perch from pool to pool, and paddling through every possible puddle and pond from Puxatawny to Pittsburgh.
Well, I hope we don't have to walk very far. It's getting pretty late.
Oh, this is just the time of the afternoon, Molly, when it's nice to hike through the woods. To see the gay little butterflies flitting hither and thither among the hither. To hear the melodious twither of the bob white. Did you ever hear me imitate a bob white?
No, but I've heard you make a cuckoo out of yourself many times.
Now, listen. I'll see if I can get a bob white to answer me.
Hello there.
Hello, who are you?
Bob White, who are you?
Fibber McGee, how are you, Bob?
Well, Fibber, be seeing you.
You see, Molly?
Is Jenny Wren a friend of yours, too? Come on, gather up yourself. Which way do we go? This path goes two ways.
The salesman says to turn left off the highway.
But that was if we came in from the north. We came in from the south.
Let's see. Coming in this way, left. That way is... No, it's... Well, that way's north, ain't it?
No, that way's north.
Why, it can't be, Molly. Look at the moss on them trees.
Very pretty, but what about it?
Why, shucks, every woodsman knows that the moss always grows on the east side of a tree. Therefore, if we face the moss, south is to the left.
To the right.
Okay, let's go straight ahead.
What a place. Don't look like there'd been anybody through here for years and years.
Well, the salesman says it was away from everything. He says, hey, there's a fellow sitting on a log over there. We can ask him later. Hi there, Bud.
How do you do, sir? Will you please tell us what... Well, heavenly days, it's Mort, too.
Hello, folks.
What are you doing up here in the woods, Mort?
I'm a hermit.
Oh, a hermit, eh?
Yeah. Thought I'd get away from everybody for a while and pick up some new jokes. I brought up a few pipperinos, too. Want to hear some?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on. They're Lulus. For instance, one fella says, he says, get a load of this now. I see where Bing Crosby's got himself a couple of race horses and a jockey. Sure, says the other fella. He gives the jockey a pair of Paramount contracts. Oh, boy. Did I muff that one? That's one of my topical ones. That's the reason I slipped on it.
I'd say it was one of your typical ones. So you decided to be a hermit and practice your jokes in solitude.
Sure. Used to rehearse the jokes out behind the woodpile. Say, I thought that kindling had split. You catch on to it?
Well, I think being a hermit is your right vocation, Lord.
Yeah. And the cheapest vocation I ever took.
Oh.
Was that a nifty? Well, if you pass by here next spring, stop and holler. I'll be a-setting here. I'm a hermit. Bump, daddy-yada.
McGee, I can't walk any farther without taking a rest. We'll be walking around here all night if we don't find that cottage pretty soon.
Don't worry about it, Molly. I've been making some mental calculations.
All right, where are we?
Well, now, look. From the way the leaves point on them oak trees and the way the birds fly kind of sideways, I figure there's about a 5-mile wind blowing. Now, presuming the birds are flying north, that gives us a 2-degree variation from the magnetic pole. You see how it works out if you just use your head?
Yeah, but where are we?
Well, I don't exactly know, but
Hello there, partners. Nice evening, ain't it?
Oh, you started me, sir. How do you do?
Hi, Slim. Can you tell us where the By-the-Wee cottage is?
Yay.
By-the-Wee, By-the-Wee.
Bite to eat, don't mind if we do.
No, not a bite to eat. The By-the-Wee. It's a cottage. Oh, let's go find it ourselves, dearie.
No, wait a minute. How's fishing around here, Bud? Fish biting on flies?
Nope.
Worms, eh?
Nope.
What do you do, cast?
Nope.
Don't tell me they ain't biting on something.
Ain't biting on nothing.
Why not?
Ain't no fish.
You mean to say there's no fish in the rivers around here?
Ain't no river. She's a creek.
Well, why didn't you say so? How's the fishing in the creek?
Ain't none.
No fish?
No creek. She dried up last year.
Thank you anyway, mister. We have to be going.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Got some sewing to do myself. Tore my britches coming through the grass. Well, so long, folks.
So long.
Hope you find your dog.
Who said anything about a dog?
You think you can carry that pack a little farther, Molly?
I think so.
Can you carry mine, too, so I can scout around a little and see
Don't
if...
you dare go away and leave me alone in these woods.
Okay, let's walk on. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the cottage was around a turn in the trail here someplace. Listen, meadowlark.
What's a meadowlark doing in the woods? He must be lost, too. Oh, look, McGee, here comes somebody else.
Well, must have been a convention around here someplace.
Oh, heavenly days, it's a little girl. She must be lost.
Oh, I'll find out. Hi there, little girl.
Hi.
You acquainted around here?
You too.
I don't mean the people, I mean the locality.
Hmm?
I says, listen, sis.
Okay.
Listen.
All right.
Say, will you be quiet?
Sure.
Do you know a cottage called the By-the-Wee?
No, do you?
Well, of course. Well, naturally, what... I said, of course I don't. You think I'd inquire where it was if I knew?
Knew what?
Knew where it was.
What?
Oh, Dad's ready. Skip it.
Oh, you mean skip the cottage named By-the-Wee that you don't know where it is?
No, I mean, yes. Forget I ever asked about it.
Okay, I'll try.
Say, you ain't lost in the woods here, are you, sis?
No, I'm playing Indian, I bet you.
Oh, yeah, huh? She's playing Indian, Molly. You ain't going to scalp us, are you, sis? I says you ain't going to scalp us, are you?
No. I'm portraying the more civilized type of redskin who refuses to indulge in such barbaric practices, I bet you. Goodbye now.
From the picture The Hit Parade, Tommy Harris sings Sweet Heartache, an ache without any pain. I'm like a ship in a gale without any sail. Oh, I've got trouble with my foolish heart. It has me worried now and then. It must be romance again. Trouble caused by Mr. Cupid's dart. I recognize this feeling that has my senses reeling. Sweet heartache, an ache without any pain. I'm glad you're back, sweet heartache, and I'm in love again. Sweet kisses from lips as eager as mine will add to my sweet heartache and make it more divine. Why is it
Every time I look at you, I shake and tremble, for I resemble a ship in a gale without any sail. Sweet heartache, you're sent from heaven above. I'll gladly stand this heartache. It means that I found love.
Hey, Molly, slow down. What's the hurry?
Oh, we got to find that cottage before long, dearie. It's going to be dark soon.
Well, suppose I run on ahead and light a light in the cottage, and then you'll be able to find it easy.
How'll you find it?
Well, there's that, too, I guess. Oh, here comes the feller. I'll ask him. Oh, it's an Indian. Hi, Chief.
How do?
How do?
How do we find our cottage, Chief? The by the we.
Me no. You lost?
Sure, me lost. Where are we?
How me know? Me lost, too.
Heavenly days, an Indian lost?
Sure. No can find teepee.
He must have rented it from the same agent we did. What tribe you from, sir?
Lost tribe, Israel. Oy, where's mine to pay?
You mean teepee, don't you?
No, mine to pay. I was scalped last night.
Well, if I thought I could find my way back to the car, McGee, I'd leave this minute. The idea of renting us a cottage we can't even find.
Yeah, next time I see that rental agent, it'll be his finish.
Well, if it's a nice finish, he'd better protect it with Johnson's Auto Wax and Cleaner. It's so easy to use.
Harpo.
Oh, hello, folks.
Heavenly days, Mr. Wilcox. What are you doing up here in the woods?
Oh, I've got a place up here.
Oh, you have a place, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's a relief.
Why?
Well, I was saying to Molly just the other night, I says, Molly, I says, do you think there'll ever be a place for Harpo? And she says, well,
Quiet, McGee. What kind of a place have you got there, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, you see,
What's the matter with him, McGee?
He's lost his place.
Well, say, what are you two doing up here?
Well, we're looking for our cottage, the By the Wee.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Well, all the cottages around here are named either the By the Wee or the Dewdrop Inn.
Yeah?
There was one guy last year, though, who changed the name of his place to Shady Rest. But we threw him out, the radical.
Well, I guess we don't get any help from you, Harpo, as usual.
Say, I know where there's a swell trout stream.
Honest, where?
I won't tell. You're mean to me. So long, Molly.
Fine sportsman. Won't even tell a guy where there's fishing.
Why, he is a sportsman, McGee. They say he plays a fine game of polo.
Well, why shouldn't he? He's played polo since he was 3.
3?
Sure, he used to sit on his kiddie car and swat mothballs around with a tack hammer.
Well, be that as it may, I'm getting awfully tired of carrying all this stuff around in these woods.
Well, now, let me think a minute. Hey, there goes somebody. Maybe he knows where. Hey, Bud, wait a minute.
Hello, Tavares. Hello, Babushka. What is the matter?
We're lost. You live around here, sir?
Sure, Babushka. I am always living in woods. I am a lumberjack.
You're a what, Vodka?
I am a lumberjack. I'm cutting down trees for lumber.
Oh, a lumberjack.
Da.
Well, listen, Vodka. We rented a cottage up around here someplace, and we can't find it. The name is the By the Weed.
By the Weed. All cottages up here is by the weeds, Tavares. Weeds is growing faster than trees is coming high. Weeds is growing so big around here, I may be soon being a weedlejack, cutting down weeds.
And you don't know where our cottage would be, eh, Bud?
No, Tavares. And for your own goodness sake, I'm hoping you're never finding him.
Why?
Summer cottages are always full of relatives. And cottages full of relatives is something I am crazy about not having some. Hey, you...
See, I'm getting discouraged. I simply can't walk any... Oh, there's Jimmy Greer. Hello, Jimmy. Yoo-hoo.
Hi, Jimmy. Come here a minute.
Hello, folks. What's the matter?
We've lost the cottage, Jimmy. I mean, we can't find where we are.
You're getting it all balled up now. You see, Jimmy, to put it into plain words, we rented a cottage that ain't here. Well, that is, it's here, but we've mislaid. I mean, We can't find where it's supposed to, and we've looked all over, and it certainly is because it can't be any place else. And how do we know?
What are you talking about?
Do you know where there's a cottage called the By-the-Wee, Jimmy?
No.
Well, that's settled. I see you've been fishing, Jimmy. You catch any?
Oh, I caught a number.
What number?
I know that you know.
Well, play it, Jimmy.
Now we are glad to announce the winner in last week's trailer contest, sponsored by the makers of Johnson's Auto Wax and Cleaner. The winner, Mr. G.A. Burdick of 1115 West Franklin Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota, wins the luxurious deluxe covered wagon trailer, the finest trailer you could ever hope to own. We know Mr. Burdick's family will have a wonderful time this summer in that magnificent trailer, for it's completely equipped for housekeeping and is roomy enough to accommodate 4 people very comfortably. And don't forget, Mr. Burdick, Johnson's Wax and Cleaner will keep your covered wagon trailer beautiful and bright for years to come.
Oh, McGee, I'm all in. Let's sit down under that big tree over there a while and rest.
Okay. Not that I'm tired, of course, but just... Hey, Molly, there's a lake. You see it through the trees?
Oh, describe it to me. I'm too tired to look.
Well, you sit down here and rest while I take a look along the shore.
No, sir, you stay right here. I don't want to have to come and look for you, too.
Oh, okay. Move over. Ground's nice and soft, huh? Kind of good to sit down at that.
What a day. We'll rent a cottage for a week, and it'll take us our whole vacation to find it.
Well, it can't be far away now. It's probably on that lake. It's funny the agent didn't mention that lake to us.
Yes, and I'd rather you didn't mention the agent. Sit still. In these days, what are you squirming about?
Just restless, I guess. Where's my fish hooks? Guess I must have lost them.
You put them in your hip pocket.
Oh, that's what I did with them. I thought we were sitting on an anthill. Hey, hold it there, Grandma, hold it. Hey, what's the idea of a woman your age whooping and hollering through the woods and banging a dad-ratted bell? Who are you, anyhow?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Why, say, son, I'm Minnie Waters, the moonshiner's daughter. Whoopee!
Moonshiner's daughter?
Absolutely, Shorty. Well, my old man runs the biggest still in these parts.
Do tell.
You must have heard the old saying about him.
No.
Water still runs deep. Woohoo!
Calm down a minute. I still don't know why you're clanging around the woods with that bell.
Well, Sonny, it's like this.
Yeah?
After 50 years, I decided to try out the old man's moonshine, so I took it there. And I've been kicking the gong around ever since. Whoopee!
Hey, listen, Grandma, we rented a cottage around here someplace, the By-the-Wee.
Oh, yes, the By-the-Wee.
Yep.
Say, that's the cottage Jack Benny stayed in last year.
It is?
It sure is, Shorty. Only he called it By-the-Bee. Woohoo! Well, so long, Tantyway. Who's got a mountain lion they want strangled? Yoo-hoo!
Imagine that old blister, Molly.
Well, at least she's enjoying herself, which is more than I am.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Molly. I'll step over to the lake and look up and down the shore. Might see the cottage over there.
Well, all right, but hurry back.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh, dear, why did we ever come?
Howdy, ma'am.
Oh.
Well, you look kind of tugged out.
I am that, sir. My husband and I are looking for our cottage, and we can't find it. The By-the-Wee. You know where it is, sir?
Reckon I do, ma'am, but I'll have to row you over to it.
Well, thank goodness. McGee, come here a minute. Very kind of you, sir.
No trouble at all, ma'am. Oh, we're going across the lake anyhow.
Say, the agent never mentioned this lake to us.
Well, it ain't been here long.
You haven't?
I have. The lake hasn't. They just built a dam down there, and it backed up to make a lake.
Hey, Molly, you call me?
Yes, McGee. This gentleman knows where By the Wheel is.
Oh.
He'll row us over to it.
Well, that's fine. Much obliged, Doc.
That's okay, stranger. Carry your bundle for you, lady?
Oh, thank you.
Great. Now, you carry mine, Molly, while I fit my fishing tackle together.
Carry it yourself, Higgins.
Okay.
Here's the rowboat, ma'am. Watch your step.
Oh, my. It's a nice boat you have here, sir.
Best boat on the lake.
It is? It is?
It sure is.
And to think our cottage is right near this sweet little lake.
Well, you'll have to admit I can pick 'em, Molly.
Say, where is By the Wheel Cottage from here, sir?
Well, ma'am, ought to be right about in here somewhere.
In here? Are you balmy, Bud? Why, this is the middle of the lake.
Sure it is. By the Wheel's about 40 foot below, right under the boat.
Heavenly days.
You mean to say we rented a cottage that's 40 foot underwater? Well, give me the key to that joint, Molly.
Here, but McGee, what are you going to do?
Why, somebody went away and left the water running. I'm going to dive down and shut it off.
When hot, depressing weather comes along, no woman wants to do tiresome housework. That's why millions of clever housewives have adopted the modern, easy method of keeping their floors and linoleum bright and sparkling. They use Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat, the remarkable liquid polish that shines without rubbing or buffing, saves linoleum from dirt and wear, and does away with the drudgery of floor scrubbing. If you want to take life easier this summer, play more and work less, try Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat on your floor. Glow Coat never smears or streaks. It dries in just 20 minutes, making old linoleum shine like new, warding off scratches and stains. Order Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat tomorrow from your dealer. Look for the lettering GLO-COAT on the attractive yellow can. Oh, yes, remember, the larger sizes save you money.
Really great out here on the coast, ain't it, Molly?
Yes, everybody's been lovely, haven't they?
How long do you suppose we'll be here in Hollywood?
Well, we ought to finish up our pictures this way, please, one of these days. Unless we have an accident like me Uncle Dennis had.
Well, what happened to Uncle Dennis? I thought he was a director for Western Pictures out here.
He was.
Yeah?
But up in the mountains the other day, he was directing a picture.
Yeah?
And somebody handed him his megaphone wrong end, too. And he directed himself right over a cliff.
He did? Good night.
Good night, all.
Now, don't forget, it's not too late to enter the big Johnson Wax Covered Wagon Trailer Contest. Full details can be secured from your dealer. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax at Racine, Wisconsin, and inviting you all to be with us again next Monday night at the same time. Good night.
He and Molly have come to you from Hollywood over the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
And there you have it, 87 years ago, June 14th, 1937, Fibber McGee and Molly. Crime on our next program with episodes of Crime and Peter Chambers. This is your FBI, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, Suspense, and Claudia. But right now, say the secret word, and we'll tell you what the secret word is when Groucho Marx is up with You Bet Your Life next.
This is Dennis James. Civil defense preparedness is important to all of us living in today's nuclear age. For information on what you can do to protect your home and family, here is a message from Leo A. Hoig, Director of the Office of Civil and Defense Mobilization.
After an enemy attack on this country, even if your city is not bombed, the radioactive fallout may be so intense that you will have to remain inside your shelter for 2 weeks. Therefore, your shelter should be stocked with a 2-week supply of food, water, and other essential items. Choose foods that will provide a well-balanced diet. Canned fruits, meats, soups, vegetables, packaged cereals, dried foods are a few examples of good energy-building foods that can be stored. Remember, a family prepared aids the community and strengthens the nation in time of war. Make sure you do your part.
And heck with nuclear explosions, fires, floods, earthquakes, tornadoes, all that stuff makes it necessary to have emergency food in case, and supply shortages too. So check it out at civildefensemuseum.com for more information. Let's check in now with Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life from 74 years ago, June 14th, 1950. And George Fenneman is about to tell us what the secret word is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is tree. T-R-E-E.
Really?
You bet your life. The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
That's logical. This is National Pickle Week. Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. George Fenneman, who's first to try for it?
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected the mother of a large family and an expectant father. And here they are, Mrs. Lois Mayer and Mr. Charles Weiss. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, for the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Marr, Lois Marr, you're the mother of a large family?
Yes, I am.
Pretty young-looking gal, aren't you? How large is your family?
I have 8 children.
You have 8 children?
8 children.
Well, you certainly don't look it. And Mr. Weiss, you're the expectant father?
Yes, sir.
You don't look it either. Do you have any other children, Mr. Weiss?
No, sir, this is my first.
Oh, your first, eh? Well, you better rest a while. The first one is the hardest. Where are you from, Mr. Weiss?
I was born in New Haven, Connecticut, raised in Newport, Rhode Island, moved to New York, and then came out here about a year and a half ago.
Who was after you? And Mrs. Marr? What does your husband do for a living, Mrs. Marr?
Well, we just started catering not so long ago.
To each other? Well, where are you from, little mother?
I'm from Leona Mines, Virginia, and I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio after I was married, and then we came to California.
Is that the customary route? Now, tell us something about this catering you mentioned. What sort of a business is it, specifically?
Well, we put on dinners for parties.
Any particular kind of food, or just...
Whatever you choose.
I see. Well, I choose the food after I eat it, but... What do you charge for a dinner like that?
It's according to what you're going to eat.
You're pretty cagey, aren't you, huh? Well, approximately, Lois.
Oh, anywhere from $1.50 to $2.50 a plate.
And suppose you put something on the plate. How much extra? I'll just call you Charlie, huh? Not you, Mrs. Moore. I mean you. What sort of work do you do, Charlie?
I'm a sales representative for America's #1 television set, Admiral.
Did you just make that up? Would you get me one wholesale?
Come around.
Does anybody ever buy anything retail anymore? Huh? How old are your children, Lois?
Oh, I have them all ages.
You got one around 79? What do you mean, all ages? What?
No, 15, 13, 12, 9, 7, 6, 4, and 8 months.
You just got under the wire there with that man. With a family your size, Lois, how large a hotel do you run?
We have 4 bedrooms.
How do you get them all out in the morning? I mean, do you put them on a conveyor belt? Or...
Well, hardly like that.
Well-
I have 5 boys and 3 girls. And I wake the oldest girl up first, and the baby wakes up instead of the oldest girl. And I go around yelling, 7:15, 7:15.
Suppose it's 8 o'clock. Do you still yell at 7:15? How do you discipline the youngsters?
Oh, they're pretty well behaved most of the time.
You never take a swipe at them?
Only in self-defense.
Did you have trouble finding names for all these kiddies?
No, we have a book at home.
Well, Lois, my advice to you is it isn't too late. Throw the book away. How about you, Mr. Weiss? Have you got a definite name for your youngster?
Yes, we have.
You are? What are you going to name it, huh?
We don't know yet.
Well, that sounds pretty definite, huh? Sounds like an Indian name, huh? What is the kid's name? We don't know yet, Jones. Huh? What do you mean you have a definite name, but you don't know yet? Weiss?
Well, we don't know what it'll
Charlie
be.
Weiss, what kind of talk is that, huh?
We don't know what it'll be yet.
You mean there's a likelihood that it may have wings and fly out the window? Which would you prefer, Charlie, a boy or a girl?
Well, it doesn't make much difference to us as long as it's a baby.
Well, why do you want a baby?
Well,
what an odd thing to wish for, huh? Well, after we're through here, talk to Mrs. Moore about it. Maybe she can get it for you wholesale. Well, it's been very instructive talking to you two, and I hope you'll both be very happy. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for $1,000.
To millions of car owners across this nation, the sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer stands for 2 things: the best in new car values, the best in service. Next time you're at a DeSoto Plymouth dealer's for service, make it a point to find out about the 2 truly great new cars he sells. One is the brilliant new DeSoto, the car that's really new, inside and out, bringing you more beauty, economy, and comfort. The moment you see the new DeSoto, you'll note its clean, modern design, the graceful new lines that sweep back from its magnificent new full-width front grille to its smart, roomy trunk. It's a thrilling car, this all-new DeSoto, the car that lets you drive without shifting. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell the beautiful new Plymouth, the car that likes to be compared.
Now, let's see if you two will be high for the night and get the chance at the $1,000. Fenneman, explain the rules.
Each of our 3 couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected mountain peaks of the world as your category. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, here's your first question. You have $20. How much will you risk?
$10.
All right. Where is Mauna Loa found? M-A-U-N-A, capital L-O-A.
In the Hawaiian Islands.
The Hawaiian Islands is right.
We're off to a good start, Groucho. They have $30.
All right, remember you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 30 will you try?
25.
25. In what country is Popocatépetl found?
In Mexico.
Mexico is correct.
They're climbing. They have $55.
You got $55, and here's your third question. How much of the 55 do you want to try?
50.
Where is Mount Everest found?
Oh, Everest in Tibet.
They're really climbing now. They have $105.
105. 105.
You're going to shoot the whole
We'll
thing?
shoot the works.
All right, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. Where is Mount Vesuvius?
Mount Vesuvius is in Italy.
All right.
And they wind up with a grand total of $210.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Groucho.
Yes.
The secret word is still tree. Perhaps the next couple will say it.
They might.
Just before we went on the air, we selected a housewife from the audience.
A good idea.
Her name is Mrs. Mary Ann Hughes.
A splendid notion.
And a hypnotist, Mr. Fred Schneider. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. And if you say the DeSoto Plymouth secret word, you'll divide $100 between you. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Schneider, you're the hypnotist?
Yes, I am.
Well, don't look me in the eye when you answer me. Somebody has to stay awake around here. Now, Mrs. Hughes, Marion Hughes, huh? Marion Hughes and Repented Leisure. Isn't that what they say? No, I guess not. You're the housewife?
Yes, I am.
Well, you're a very attractive housewife, huh?
Thank you.
What does your husband do, Mrs. Hughes?
Well, he works for Foodcraft.
Foodcraft?
Mm-hmm. He sells pickles.
How did you meet him? Was he pickled at the time?
No, he wasn't old enough to be pickled when I met him.
How old do you have to be pickled? Well, how did you meet him, huh?
Well, I met him in a blacksmith shop in Illinois. He was molding a brand for his pony, and he had heated the iron, and he had formed the letters M-A-X, and he put them in this big tub of water.
Max?
Because they were hot. Uh-huh.
Was that the pony's name or your husband?
No, that was his name. He was going to brand his pony, Max.
What was the pony's name?
I don't know.
Didn't the pony have a name?
Well, I didn't ask him. I don't know.
Don't you think it was rather unfair to the pony to...
I'm sorry. I should have asked the pony.
Well, there you are with the pony and Max and the...
I hadn't noticed my husband very much. I mean, he put the brand in the tub of water, and a devil's horse came flying by, and
What's that?
A devil's horse?
A devil's horse?
Uh-huh.
Was he getting shooed, too, in the black... What's a devil's horse?
Well, those huge varmints they have back east. They fly through the air, and they look like a little horse, only they're an insect. And if they bite you, it's just sure death, they say.
Who are they? I mean, I've always wanted to track that down, they say.
Well, that's what I've heard all my life, and I saw this coming at me, and I didn't like it. Well, I got excited, and I fell over in this tub of water on the top of this brand. And I got branded.
Isn't it a little embarrassing to walk around the bathing beach with Max stamped on you? Huh?
No, it really isn't noticeable at all.
So I still don't see how this culminated in marriage. The mere fact that you were named Max at the time. Matter of fact, all three of you were named Max by this time. But what about you, Eye Strain? What kind of a brand do you carry? Are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
Some hypnotist. She caught you napping, eh? Tell me, Svengali, what are some of the uses for hypnotism?
Well, it's being used a great deal medically today, especially through this last war. Mm-hmm. Such things as overcoming and removing phobias, bad habits.
Could you hypnotize me and cure me of my insomnia?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, I think so.
I doubt it. I don't have insomnia. I just can't sleep at night, that's all. Could you hypnotize me and cure me of smoking cigars?
Well, any ordinary person you could hypnotize.
Answer my question. Can you hypnotize me?
Well, I don't know. I have to try it first.
Well, flattery will get you nowhere. I guess I'm safe in ordering another box of cigars. Can you show me how to hypnotize somebody? Try it on Mrs. Hughes here. Huh?
Sure, I'd be glad.
Mrs. Hughes, do you mind if he hypnotizes you?
Oh, I don't think I like that.
Oh, you don't want to give up smoking cigars either. Huh? Well, how do you hypnotize somebody? What's the first step?
Well, the first step is to get their attention, have them concentrate on your voice, and then have them think of figures or numbers. As you count, for instance, to 5, they'll go deep asleep. Then you begin counting 1, tell them to relax and grow heavy, their legs and their arms. 2, they're growing very
Are you trying to give me the double whammy here?
Well, I wasn't trying very hard.
Can you hypnotize a whole audience?
A large portion of a whole audience. I did a demonstration at the Long Beach Municipal Auditorium several years ago. Mm-hmm. There were about 3,500 people there, and several hundred actually went to sleep.
Did it ever occur to you that perhaps the show was lousy? Well, now that everybody's in a trance, let's play You Bet Your Life for $1,000. You run your $20 no more than the other couples, and you get the big chance. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners.
The expectant father and the mother of 8 children won $210.
Here we go. Let's see how high you can build your $20. You selected American Patriots as your category. Is that right? Now, here's your first question. How much are the 20?
Okay.
What was the name of the American statesman who said, give me liberty or give me death?
Patrick Henry.
Patrick Henry is right.
They're on their way with $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. How much of the 30 will you try?
25.
25. What was the name of the soldier and statesman who avenged the Alamo at San Jacinto?
Was it Sam Houston?
Sam Houston is correct.
They're on their way now. They have $55.
And here's your third question. And how much are the 55?
50.
What was the name of the patriot in charge of the Boston Tea Party? He also signed the Declaration of Independence.
Sam Adams.
Samuel Adams is correct.
Now they have $105.
This gal has read a number of books. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much are the 105?
100.
100. What was the name of the woman who supposedly said, shoot if you must, this old gray head, but spare your country's flag?
Jane? Wasn't Bessie? No.
I'm terribly sorry. It was Barbara Fritchie. Well, that's tough luck. You bet all your money and wound up broke. I'm going to give you another chance to make some money. Get this one right, and you win $10 in cash. Now, think hard. Who is buried in Grant's tomb?
Grant.
General Grant is right. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, and I will soon know who gets the chance at the $1,000 question.
Mr. Car Owner, what have you done about the warmer weather that lies ahead?
I'm sending my long underwear to storage.
But what about your car? Is it all set for the miles of pleasant motoring? Can you count on it for smooth operation on vacation and during those summer weekends? Better visit a DeSoto Plymouth dealer real soon. Let his service experts tune up your car.
Bring in your violin, too.
You see, friends, a car that's been checked by DeSoto Plymouth mechanics will zoom along the road and purr like a cat.
May even drink milk. So take the man's advice, folks. Bring your car, your violin, and your cat in wherever you see the sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. All right, Fenneman, who's ahead in the battle for the $1,000 question?
Well, the mother of 8 children and the expectant father are ahead with $210. And the secret word is still tree. We invited some boxers and some ballet dancers to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Patty Taylor and Mr. Art Aragon. And here they are, folks. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100 between you. It's a common word, something you see every day. A boxer and a ballet dancer, eh? Which are you?
I'm the boxer.
You're the boxer, huh? What is your name? Art Aragon, eh? Where are you from, Art?
I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh. Before we proceed, let me caution you. On this program, you're liable to hear bells occasionally, Art. Don't come out swinging if you do. What is your fighting weight, Art?
135 stripped.
Did you say strapped or stripped? Now, how much do you weigh with your clothes on?
I don't know. I never weigh with my clothes on.
You must draw a nice crowd when you get weighed at the union. Are you married, or haven't you lost a fight yet?
I'm married, but we don't fight at home.
You don't, huh? In the morning, does your wife have to count to 9 before you'll get up? Huh? What about you, Twinkle Toes? Let's find out something about you. You're a ballet dancer, huh?
Yes.
Where are you from? What is your name? Fifi? Patty, huh?
Patty Taylor.
Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
You're not married, huh? For a ballet dancer, apparently you're not on your toes. Let's see you get up on your toes.
In these shoes?
Hmm.
You need toe shoes for that.
How you have toes, eh?
About 10.
Did you say you were about 10?
No, 18 now.
Well, you just said 10.
10 toes.
Oh, 10 toes, but you're 18. Huh?
Yes.
Could be worse, you know. You could be 10 and have 18 toes. I knew a girl like that once. She was really 2 girls, but I don't want to... Now, one punch. How do you train for a big fight?
Well, let's see. I get up at 6:30 in the morning. I go run. I come back and I go to bed.
Wouldn't it be simpler to just stay there in the first place? Once you're up, why don't you stay up?
Well, that's not all of the training. I got a little bit more.
There is? What else?
Well, I get up at 10 o'clock and I eat my breakfast. Then I go back to bed.
You must have a fortune tied up in pajamas. Then what do you do?
Well, I go train the gym for a couple of hours, then I go home and go to bed. That's true. Then I get up at about 5 o'clock and I eat my dinner, go out and take a walk, and I come home and go to bed.
You don't see much of the outside world, do you? Why do you do all that work? Why is there so much sleeping and jumping up and down?
Well, how do you want to get in top shape?
Top shape? Well, who wants to be shaped like a top? Now, what are the first things you have to learn about ballet, Patty?
Well, the first thing would be the 5 basic dance positions.
And what are the 5 basic dance positions?
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, you ask a ridiculous question, you get a ridiculous answer. On the other hand, Aragon only has 2 positions. Vertical and horizontal. Could you describe the first dance position, Patty?
Well, position number 1, you have your feet together, your heels together, and your toes pointed outwards, and push your heels forward.
Well, that sounds pretty simple. It's okay. Now, what are some of the basic steps of the ballet?
Oh, there's tours jetés, pirouettes, glissades, assemblées, jetés, and entrechacatras.
What time do you stop at Nacogdoches? Isn't all that stuff Greek to you, Art?
It's French.
It's French. Well, all I can say is, vive la France! What qualifications are necessary to become a good ballet dancer, Patty?
Most of the qualifications are physical. You should have a sturdy body and flexible and a slender figure. And it's good to have long legs, but it isn't necessary.
Well, the legs should certainly be long enough to reach the floor, Patty. Well, it's been very interesting talking to you two. Now, let's see how agile you are in the quiz. Now, you beat the other two couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question. I can't tell you how much the other two couples won, but Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners.
The mother of 8 children and the expectant father are ahead with $210.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected sporting terms as your category. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, how much you want to bet of the $20?
10.
Talk right out loud into the
10.
microphone. Like the fight was over and you were saying, hello, Mom. Texas Liga is an expression in what sport?
Baseball.
Baseball is correct.
We're on the way, Groucho, with $30.
Well, you hit that over the fence. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 30 will you try?
25? 25, she said.
25. A lob shot is an expression of what sport? L-O-B.
Oh, wait just a moment. A lob. It's tennis.
That's right, tennis.
Let's find it now. He has $55.
You got $55, and here's your third question. How much will you bet?
40.
Riposte, I guess, R-I-P-O-S-T-E, is a maneuver in what sport?
How do you spell it?
R-I-P-O-S-T-E.
You guess.
Post. Football?
No.
No, that's a tough question. It's fencing.
They now have $15.
That's a shame. All right, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 15 will you try?
All of it.
All of it. A stymie is an expression of what sport?
That's easy, huh? I'm stymied. Oh, not marble. I'm stymied. You stymied a guy. Gee, that's simple.
Stymied. Thought it was marbles.
Well, I was thinking of golf, but I guess they have stymies and marbles. But I'd say you're right.
They wind up with $30, and that means the expectant father and the mother of 8 children with $210 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question. To serve you efficiently, to serve you promptly. Those are the aims of every DeSoto Plymouth dealer. No matter what make of car you drive, no matter what sort of attention it needs, a DeSoto Plymouth dealer is well equipped to give your car the very best in service. Skilled, factory-trained mechanics, the most modern tools and equipment made, service at a fair price, and prompt, courteous treatment every time. That's the kind of service you get when you drive in at the sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. That's the kind of service that means extra miles for your car. From coast to coast, there are more than 3,000 of these DeSoto Plymouth dealers, each with an earnest desire to serve you. And here's the mother of 8 and the expectant father, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question, Groucho.
Here we go for $1,000. Ready? I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please no help from the audience. Here it is. The Panama Canal, one of the great engineering feats of all time, would never have been possible if it weren't for the discovery of the Isthmus of Panama. For $1,000, tell me who discovered the Isthmus of Panama. All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Balboa.
No, I'm sorry, but it was Christopher Columbus on his last voyage to the New World. Well, that's the correct answer, so that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $210 in the quiz. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show. You'll Bet Your Life. Presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week, the big question will be worth $1,500.
So good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a tip from the National Safety Council. May is National Car Safety Month. So remember, check your car, check accident. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Well, there you have it. Groucho Marx, You Bet Your Life, 74 years ago, June 14, 1950, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage to support us, classicradio.stream. And by the way, another great way you can support us without spending money, especially if you listen to us via the Apple Podcast app, is you go in there and you leave us a 5-star review and tell people what drew you to our show, why you listen, what you enjoy about the show, and how you prefer to listen. That actually helps us an awful lot. So if you're listening to us through Apple Podcasts, do that. If you listen to the other places, like us. If you're on Facebook, not Facebook, but YouTube, you can do that too. Leave us comments there. We love to, and some of them I'll actually respond to. So, but anyway, you can find us at classicradio.stream. Our Buy Me a Coffee function, a number of you use that lately. We appreciate Richard. We appreciate many of you who have done it, Nicholas, and also Robert. Thanks to all of you for leaving us those nice comments. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here with an episode of My Friend Irma starring Marie Wilson, 76 years ago, June 14th, 1948. That's next.
This is Dennis James. Civil defense preparedness is important to all of us living in today's nuclear age. For information on the importance of first aid training in protecting your home and family, here is a message from Leo A. Hoig, Director of the Office of Civil and Defense Mobilization.
First aid training can prepare you to meet emergencies quickly when time is precious. If we are ever attacked, medically trained personnel will be busy aiding the desperately ill and injured. Your first aid training could save the life of a member of your family, a friend, a neighbor. You can't always count on someone else helping. Will you know what to do? Take the first step today. Enroll in a Red Cross first aid course. Knowledge of first aid is good common sense and good civil defense. Be sure you are prepared for any emergency.
It is a no-brainer to learn some first aid, have a first aid kit, have things to protect yourself after not just a nuclear attack, which is what we're talking about here, but also to have all that stuff in case of a natural disaster or other situations. CivilDefenseMuseum.com and other places to get that data. Okay, My Friend Irma starring Marie Wilson. We're going back to an earlier edition than we have been running. This is from June 14th, 1948, 76 years ago today.
Irma? Yes, Jane? You know, this is interesting. It says here that the desert in Death Valley is 270 feet below sea level.
Well, it can't be much of a desert with all that water on top of it.
Well, that's what you can expect when you listen to My Friend Irma.
Friendship, friendship, just perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot.
Fibber
Brothers Company, makers of Swan, the soap with the exclusive Super Cream Blend, presents
Our Friend Swan.
With My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
Looked in the zodiac to find out what sign I was born under. Whether it was Aries, the ram, Capricorn, the goat, or Leo, the lion. Lo and behold, I find out I'm Taurus. Says in a footnote that Taurus girls get married very young. As far as I'm concerned, now I know why this sign is referred to as Taurus the bull. Believe me, I'm not getting any younger. And every June I look at the wedding announcements in the newspapers, and you know something? My name isn't there. And as far as Richard Rhinelander's concerned, I've tried everything. From pulling petals off the daisies to sleeping on a piece of wedding cake. All I ever got out of it was a house full of ants. Well, I guess I'm not the only one who does a bit of mooning round the month of June. Even Irma is affected. Right now, she's looking at a picture of a June bride in the newspaper. The look on her face is a complete blank, which means she's thinking. Irma.
Yes, Jane?
What's fascinating you so?
Well, look what it says about this bride in the paper.
What?
When Miss Doris Alber walks down the aisle, she'll be wearing her great-grandmother's lover around her neck.
Let me see that. Irma, that's lavalier.
Well, I got the other words right. Jane, aren't these brides just lovely?
Yeah, lovely and lucky. Especially this one. Isn't she adorable?
Yes, and her babies are cute, too.
Babies?
Yes, an artist has drawn their pictures all around the bride's photograph.
Irma, those are cupids.
Jane, if Richard asked you to marry him, where would you go for the honeymoon?
To the nearest sanitarium for shock treatment. How about you and Al, honey? Where would you like to spend your honeymoon?
Oh, Al has already made reservations. We're going to stay at 822 Wall Street.
822 Wall Street? Irma, isn't Mr. Clyde's office at 824?
Yes, when we're on a honeymoon, Al doesn't want me to be late for work.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. Your wedding ring will probably have a built-in alarm clock. Hello.
Hello, Jane. This is Al. Is Irma there?
Oh, just a minute. Irma, it's for you.
Oh, who is it?
I'll give you a hint. It's the one person in the country who celebrates 365 holidays a year.
Oh, hello, Al, honey.
Hiya, chicken. Can get a couple of free tickets to a show. How would you like to take in Harvey?
No, Al, if I take anybody, it'll be you.
No, chicken, Harvey is a Broadway show. Would you like to go to the matinee this afternoon?
Oh, Al, I'd love to.
Well, chicken, we'll pick you up later. And look, chicken, since we're going to the theater and mingling with that classy crowd, let's go in style.
What do you mean, Al?
Make some sandwiches. We'll take them along.
All right, Al, goodbye. Oh, Jane, isn't it wonderful? Al's taking me to see Harvey. I wonder what kind of a show it is.
Well, it's a comedy. I haven't seen it yet. They say it's very good. It's about a rabbit called Harvey. Only you can't see him.
No wonder Al's getting the tickets for nothing. Oh, well, as long as I'm with Al, I don't care what I don't see. He's so wonderful.
In June, all fellas seem wonderful. That includes my Richard. You know, I've practiced saying I do for so long that when I walk down the street mumbling to myself, people say, "Do you realize you're out of your mind?" And I say, "I do."
Oh, gee, Jane, wouldn't it be wonderful if the four of us were married and lived right next door to each other?
Oh, I can just see it. Richard coming home from a hard day at the office, Al coming home from a hard bench in the park.
But it would be so nice for our children.
Yeah, the children. I hadn't thought of that. I guess there would be a little Irma and a little Jane. Little Irma would be asking little Jane questions all day. I won't have it.
Well, why not, Jane?
Because I wouldn't want my daughter to be prematurely gray at the age of 4.
Oh, you're just kidding, Jane. Isn't it wonderful to daydream like this? Gee, if Al would just propose, I'd buy the wedding ring myself.
Buy your own wedding ring? Oh, no, you wouldn't. That's one thing I won't let you do. It's enough you may have to work after you're married, but you're going to start out like a lady.
All right, Jane. Gee, I can't wait to go to the theater. What did you say Harvey was about?
Oh, it's about a man who drinks and imagines he sees rabbits. Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Hello, Janie and Irma, my two little dishes. One food for thought, the other food for squirrels. Excuse me, a little joke I picked up in the park.
Why, Professor?
Girls, I came down here to get a little information. Is the word which an adverb or a preposition?
Well, the word which is a pronoun, or it may be used adjectively. How do you want to use it?
Dear Mrs. O'Reilly, you are an old witch.
Professor, why don't you stop teasing poor Mrs. O'Reilly? After all, she's the kind of a person who likes to live and let live.
This I know. You should see the things she lets live in my room.
Well, Professor, why don't you forget Mrs. O'Reilly as a landlady? Just think of her as a woman.
I tried that, but I had to stop right away. I found myself hating my own mother. Tell me, Irma, what are you all dressed up for?
Oh, Al's going to take you to the matinee. I'm going to see Harvey.
Harvey?
Yes, it's about a rabbit who drinks and imagines he sees men.
Yes, and pink psychiatrist. Come in.
Hello, girls. Oh, there you are, Professor.
Oh, it's Mrs. O'Reilly.
Now, please, don't get excited, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Quiet, you. Girls, what would you think of a man who takes a girl to the playground in the park at night and lets her go up and down on a seesaw for 2 hours?
Oh, I think that's very romantic.
Well, that's what I thought until I got off and found a rock tight at the other end of the board.
I'm sorry, Mrs. O'Reilly. I just went away to buy you some candy. Do you think after how nice you was to me, I could play a dirty trick like that on you?
Mrs. O'Reilly, what did you do for him?
Oh, just a few little intimate touches for his room.
You know the leak in my bathroom pipe?
She fixed it?
No, she hung a shower curtain around it. And you know that old-fashioned gas stove I got? The one the gas is always escaping from?
Oh, is she getting you a new stove?
No, she gave me a gas mask.
Well, this is all very touching, but Irma, Al will be here any minute. You better be ready to go, honey.
All right, Jane.
Where are you going, Irma?
Al's taking me to the theater.
To the theater?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's been such a long time since I've been to the theater.
Yes, it's a little hard for Mrs. O'Reilly to forget all that excitement and shooting. You see, she was sitting right next to Mr. Lincoln.
Oh, hush up, Professor. Oh, Irma, I almost forgot what I came here for. Amber Lips got called while you were at the office, and she wanted me to tell you that she called back again at 1 o'clock.
Come on, Mrs. O'Reilly, I'll take you to the movie around the corner. They're showing 2 pictures today. The Emperor Waltz and the story of your life. So evil, my love.
Oh, go along with you. Goodbye, girls.
I think I'll go too, Irma. I can't stand to be around when that obnoxious girlfriend of yours calls.
Oh, Jane, why can't you get along with Amber?
Irma, honey, I know she's one of your best friends, but tell me, why is it the minute she gets here, she has to take off her shoes and strut around barefooted? I wouldn't mind if her feet were shapely, but believe me, if they had eyes, each one of them could pass for a bearskin rug.
Well, that's not Amber's fault. Her feet hurt her. You see, she's employed in a brewery. She's a barrel kicker.
A barrel kicker?
Yeah, she walks around the brewery kicking barrels to see which ones are empty.
Oh, Irma, don't listen to those stories she makes up. Your friend Amber Lipscott is just a clumsy, lazy oaf with a temper, and I don't want anything to do with her. I'll take it. Hello? What? Yes, Amber, this is Jane. You want to talk to Irma. What? Why do I have to answer the phone? Well, I happen to live here. Why do I have to live?
Why, you! Hey, give it to me, Jane. Hello? Oh, hello, Amber. This is Irma. Huh? How long am I going to keep on living with someone beneath me? Jane doesn't live beneath me. She lives right here in the same room.
Thanks, Irma.
What is it, Amber? You sound excited. Huh? You can't tell me, but you'll be right over? All right. No, I won't leave. Goodbye. Gee, I wonder what she's so excited about.
I don't know, honey. Personally, I don't want to have anything to do with her. As far as I'm concerned, she's the coarsest, most vulgar person in the world.
But I've never heard her sound so thrilled. I wonder what it can be.
She's probably wrestling Gorgeous George next week.
It's me, Chicken.
Come in, Al.
Hello, Jane. Hiya, Chicken.
Hello, Al, honey.
Sorry I'm late, Chicken. Was trying to interest a banker in my latest deal.
Oh, another one of your deals? What is it this time? Putting windows in cigar boxes, selling them for television sets?
Nothing so obvious. This is a special device to eliminate backseat driving.
Well, how do you do that, Al?
Simple. The car has 2 exhaust pipes. One of them goes into the back seat. I'll tell you more about it later. Chicken, take my arm. We're off to the matinee.
Well, gosh, I can't go.
You can't go? Why not, Chicken?
Well, Amber Lipscott is coming over to discuss something important, and I promised I'd be here.
But, Chicken, after all the trouble I went to get these tickets.
Oh, I'm sorry, Al.
It's such a shame to waste good seats. Jane?
Yes, Al?
Jane, in the past, you and I have had many differences, but this could, of course, be based on heredity.
What do you mean?
Well, in your family, to be ambitious is considered a virtue. In our family, it has come to be looked upon as a disease.
Yes?
Outside of this slight difference, Jane, I have never had anything against you, and have always hoped it was sort of mutual.
What are you driving at, Al?
Well, I was wondering if you would like to go to the theater with me. Outside of Chicken, there is no one I would rather take.
Well, Al, I've never had anything personal against you. And since you put it this way, and if Irma won't object...
Oh, I won't. You know what they say, share the wealth. Even if he's broke.
Well, what do you say, Jane?
Al, I'd be delighted.
My arm, Miss Stacy. And let me tell you, I may not be able to take you along Park Avenue like your boyfriend Richard does, but believe me, on our way to get a hot dog at the waterfront, we will cross Park Avenue.
This is a day that will live in history. Goodbye, honey.
Yeah, so long, Chicken. When we get back, we'll tell you the whole plot.
Well, you don't have to, Al. I trust you.
Hear that, ladies? The music for the first dance of a lovely evening. And the violins are whispering a beauty hint to you.
Only Swan has that super cream blend.
That's important. Swan soap does give you something no other soap can offer. Swan differs from other soaps. You know it does, because you can feel the difference just by running your fingers over a cake of Swan. You can feel that extra smoothness, the direct result of Swan Super Cream Blend, and...
Feel that wonderful super cream lather.
Feel that rich, billowy Swan lather. A special lather that no other soap can give you, because no other soap has Swan Super Creamed Blend. This Swan lather cleanses so gently, so thoroughly, and then rinses away so completely that it leaves your skin looking softer, smoother, younger. Yes, you'll find out that the Swan look is a young look. You'll see new beauty in your skin. So please don't forget.
Only Swan has that super cream blend. Richard takes me to the matinee. He hails a cab, picks up a box of candy, hands me a corsage, and we end up watching the show from the third row. But this is with Al. So he hailed a cab, asked the driver what time it was, found out we had time to walk. He picked up a Tootsie Roll, handed me the wrapper, and we ended up watching the show from the third balcony. From where we are sitting, not only Harvey the rabbit is invisible, but so is the cast. I must say Al is enjoying himself immensely, though. He hasn't stopped smiling since he went to sleep.
Ow! Wake up.
Your Honor, this whole thing is a mistake. I was Oh. How is you, Jane?
Al, I don't like to interrupt your dreams, but I paid $1.20 tax on those free tickets of yours. I'd like to have you see the show.
Sorry, Jane, just can't keep awake.
Why not?
No dames in the show.
Must you have chorus girls?
Look, Jane, as much as I love chicken, I am still a normal man. I prefer watching chorus girls to an animal act. I got the feeling that once you've seen one rabbit, you've seen them all. Mind if I leave?
No, do, by all means.
Come in. Oh, Amber Lipscott. Hello, Amber.
Hello, dearie. Is your roommate out?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. I can't stand that snooty girl. You mind if I take my shoes off? It helps me to speak freely.
Amber, I hope you have something important to tell me because I passed up going to the theater with Al.
Have I got something important, dearie? You know my boyfriend, Gerald the jockey.
Oh, Amber, don't tell me you finally hooked him.
Harpooned is the word, dearie. I've got him clean, dressed, and on ice. We're getting married this afternoon.
Oh, not really?
Yeah, after the 7th race.
Oh, Amber, I don't know what to say. Gosh, I'm so happy.
Oh, thanks, dearie. Everyone's been so nice. At the track, they gave a party for Gerald and me. They put us in the winner's circle, dropped a horseshoe of flowers around my neck, and weighed me in. They were so sentimental. Say, tell me, Irma, how are you coming along with Al?
Oh, every time I ask Al what's holding up our wedding, he says mañana. That's Spanish for money.
You don't have to tell me. I went to school.
Open up, chicken.
Oh, come on in, Al, honey.
Oh, hi, Amber.
Hello, Al.
Hey, you lost a little weight, didn't you?
Yeah. You know, driving a bulldozer isn't easy work.
Oh, Al, wait until you hear the wonderful news. Amber's getting married this afternoon.
Well, congratulations.
That was nothing. He knew he'd have to do it sooner or later or I'd cripple him.
Amber, what time does the wedding take place?
5 o'clock at my apartment, dearie. And that's why I dropped by. You gotta do me a favor.
Oh, certainly, Amber. What is it?
Well, I'm going to be tied up at the dressmaker's until 4:30. So I wondered if you'd take this $50 with this slip to Kay's jewelry store and pick up my wedding ring.
Oh, we'd be glad to. Do you want us to come to the wedding?
Well, of course I do, honey. You're my dearest friend. And I don't care what kind of a wedding present you bring me, just so long as you're not ashamed of it.
All right, Amber. Well, we'll get the ring for you. Shall I bring Jane along, too?
No, thanks. There'll be enough crumbs around after we cut the wedding cake.
Oh, Amber, I wish you'd try to understand Jane. Underneath it all, she's a wonderful person.
That's where I'd like to see her, underneath it all. You better not get in my way. Well, so long, honey.
$50.
Al, Amber gave us that money for the ring. I'll put it back on the table.
Oh, you misunderstand, chicken. Was merely thinking of getting the most good out of this money for Amber.
What do you mean, Al?
Well, maybe I can get a better ring for less money. And with the dough I save Amber, we buy her a wedding present. And there's only one man who can help us.
Who, Al?
Who else but... Hello, Joe. Al, got a problem. Want to pick up a wedding ring cheap. What shall I do? Shake hands with Mrs. McHugh? Oh, she's been on a diet. The ring is loose. No, Joe. Must be legitimate. You want I should stop calling you about things that are legitimate? It's giving you a bad name with the boys. Understand your position. Goodbye, noble friend.
Now, look, Al, forget about getting bargains. Let's just go out and get a wedding present for Amber.
Shall I take along the 50 and the slip for Amber's ring?
No, we might lose it. Leave it on the table until we come back.
Okay, chicken.
Gee, Al, I wish we were getting married like Amber and Gerald.
It won't be long, chicken.
Oh, Al, if you knew how I dream of the day when I'll hold our son in my arms.
Well, chicken, how do you know it'll be a boy?
Oh, you don't know about those things. You're so naive. I already wrote to the stork.
Irma? Oh, Professor, I guess no one's home.
Oh, that's too bad. I wanted to tell Irma that I like the way she sewed the button on my shirt, but that I can't get the shirt off the table because she sewed the shirt to the tablecloth.
Well, you You know, this is June, and Irma is very much love-struck. In fact, before I left for the theater, Irma was in such a romantic mood that she said if Al would marry her, she'd buy the ring herself.
Well, lots of people are desperate to get married, Janie. Take Mrs. O'Reilly. She says if I will marry her, she will have her face lifted. But I'm terrified at the thought of what they might find underneath.
Oh, well. You know, I know that Irma's just exaggerating, and she wouldn't do... Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter, Janie? What's on the table there?
Kay's Jewelers. One wedding ring, balance $50. Oh, no! She said she would, and now she's done it. She's buying her own wedding ring so Al will marry her.
Poor little Irma. Nature was very cruel to her. Gave her such a big heart, there wasn't anything left to put in her head.
Well, Al's not going to get away with this. Irma works too hard for her money to go spending it on a wedding ring. Heavens, if Al wants to marry her, let him buy the ring.
Where are you going, Janie?
To the bank to deposit this money right back in her account.
But the bank is closed now.
Well, I'll put it in the night depository, Professor. I'll see you later. This will teach Irma a lesson.
Jane! Oh, there's nobody here, Al.
Well, chicken, you better get dressed if you want to get to the wedding in time. Don't forget, we got to pick up Amber's ring.
All right, Al. Al!
What's the matter, chick?
The money for the ring is gone.
Don't look at me, chicken. I come in with you.
Hello, Jane. Guess what happened?
I know what happened. That money you were going to spend on a wedding ring for yourself so this loafer could marry you is back in the bank where it belongs.
Back in the bank?
Yes. And the bank is closed.
Closed?
Why are you two acting as though someone had just gotten killed?
I wish you hadn't said that, Jane.
Sounds like a pretty good ringside description of what's going to happen to you.
To me? What are you talking about?
Jane, that $50 belongs to Amber Lipscott. It was for her wedding ring. If her wedding is called off on account of your meddling, she may hit the ceiling, and it'll be with you.
Oh, no. Oh, no, what am I going to do? Oh, I don't want to get involved with that terrible monster. Oh, if I could only get $50 so you could get the ring. Let me see, I think I've got $4. Oh, dear. Irma, how much have you got?
20, 28, 32, 41, half a dollar.
Oh. I'll go out of my mind. Al, what have you got? Now I know I'm going out of my mind. Come in.
Hello, folks.
Mrs. O'Reilly.
Janie, what's wrong? You're white as a sheet.
Mrs. O'Reilly, have you got $50?
Oh, you should have asked me this morning before I went to the beauty parlor.
You spent all that money in the beauty parlor?
Yes, I tip big. I have to. If I don't, the girls won't work on me.
Well, I guess this is it, kids. Might as well get ready to face it. Now it's a matter of time, nothing more. Well, I'm just sitting here, waiting for the inevitable. Al and Irma have been very solicitous. Irma keeps humming and singing to cheer me up. Her singing is a little worse than anything Amber could do to me. As for Al is really concerned. He keeps glancing through my papers to make sure all my insurance policies are paid up. It's after 5 o'clock, and by now Amber's either married without a ring or on her way over here with murder in her heart. Oh, if only I hadn't put the money in the bank.
Well, goodbye, Jane. Come in, Amber.
Hello, Amber. Now, look, Amber, let me explain.
You don't have to explain, Irma. That's the kind of a person you are.
But really, Amber, I don't know what to say.
You don't have to talk, Irma. You just feel those things.
Feel what things?
About not showing up with the ring. You didn't want me to be married.
Now, hold it, Amber.
You stay out of this, nosy. What I'm saying, Irma, is what makes you so clever and psychic?
Psychic?
Yeah, how did you know Gerald was already married to somebody else?
What? I mean, what?
You stay out of this. Irma, I'm so glad you didn't show up and embarrass me. And I'm so glad you didn't buy the ring. If I only told you about the money Gerald gave me.
What about the money?
You, my worst enemy, should try to pass that money. It's counterfeit. Say, Irma, what's your girlfriend doing lying on the floor?
Oh, I don't know. Jane, I wish you wouldn't go to sleep when we have company.
noticed Irma putting a cake of Swan soap in front of the electric fan. So I said, honey, what's the idea? And Irma said,
Oh, I thought if our swan starts molting, the fan will blow its feathers away.
Well, Jane, Irma has her serious moments about Swan soap, too. Sure, she says the large cake of Swan is wonderful for her bath. So, ladies, why don't you get the large-size cake of Swan next time? See how it breaks easily into 2 generous cakes that last and last for your bath. And when you feel your cake of Swan, you'll notice how smooth it is. Feel the lather. It's smoother, richer, creamier. And that's because of Swan's super creamed blend. So get the big, handsome, generous cake of Swan soap for your bath.
One time when I know how Irma must feel all the time. Why? Because I have pulled the boner of boners. Fortunately, I got to the bank in the morning early enough to stop the counterfeit deposit, and everything's taken care of. But I just can't stand to be in a position where Irma feels she must sympathize with me. In fact, I just go crazy when Irma says,
Oh, Jane, don't feel so badly about making a mistake. Sometimes I even say some things that aren't exactly brilliant.
Not really.
Oh, sure, but who cares? 6 of one or 10 of another. All adds up to 12.
And you know, 12 is just a little higher than the IQ of my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma, presented by Swan, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company, was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard and Park Levy. Folks, next Monday evening, listen again to
Our Friend Swan
with My Friend Irma.
Starring Mary Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane. The part of Professor Kropotkin was played by Hans Conried. Ladies, listen. The shortage of fats and oils is still very serious, and it's worldwide. So please keep on saving every drop of used kitchen fat. Your butcher will pay you for every pound. Frank Bingman speaking.
Spry.
Cakes are light and high.
Spry.
There's a reason why.
Spry.
Cakes improve with Spry.
Rely on Spry.
Yes, there's a reason why Spry makes grand cakes. Spry has an amazing cake improver secret. Try the Spry one-bowl way and be sure of lighter, finer, richer cakes every time. No other type of shortening has Spry's Cake Improver. For new cake-making success, try Spry, the pure, all-vegetable shortening.
Rely on Spry. S-P-R-Y. Rely on Spry.
Tune in next week, 1 hour earlier, and listen to the Lux Radio Theater, immediately followed by My Friend Irma. This is CBS, where 99 million people gather every week. The Columbia Broadcasting System.
Tomorrow on that was an episode of My Friend Irma, Marie Wilson, 76 years ago, June 14, 1948. If you visit classicradio.stream, you can see a nice piece on My Friend Irma that our friend Jimmy sent me as a gift, and we appreciate him so much for doing that. Coming up next, first I got to remind you tomorrow, Crime and Peter Chambers, This Is Your FBI, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, Suspense, all those nice, mild shows. Pleasant listening, no trauma, and then it's going to be topped off with Claudia. And I'll mention, I have some things to say about Claudia, and I'll say those in just a moment.
If we have the strongest military force in the world, do we still need civil defense? The Honorable Frank B. Ellis, Director of the Office of Civil and Defense Mobilization, answers that question for us today. Mr. Ellis.
20 years ago at Pearl Harbor, we found out that modern weapons and delivery systems had wiped out immunity from surprise attack. This lesson was important then. It is infinitely more important today. We are being propelled into a rocket age where travel in space at fantastic speed is not a dream, but a hard fact. Here, Military preparedness is no longer enough. We must think of defense in terms of national survival. This includes civil defense. Survival of the individual and the family is the most important and commanding problem we face today. We know survival is possible. Radioactive fallout would be the worst threat after attack. We know that shielding gives protection from fallout, and shielding means shelter. We know that shelters can be built in almost all homes at relatively low cost. We know that shelters could save millions of lives in the nuclear age. Shelter means survival. This kind of preparedness says the basic moral principle, which holds that human life is intrinsically valuable. No one is expendable.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Remember, a strong defense begins with a prepared family and ends with a protected nation. Make sure your home is prepared, so no matter what happens, you will be ready.
I want to read you what one of our listeners said about Claudia, and this is from Diana. She said, "This is what I love about Claudia. So touching this episode is, and the show for the life of portrayed the life of everyday people. Thank you for your podcast." And thank you, Diana. Appreciate those kind words. And your feedback on any of these shows is always appreciated. At classicradio.stream or at classicradio.stream, by the way, if you go there, you can find our social media links. And that's the easiest way to touch base with us. My words are not coming out. Use your words, Wyatt. An episode of Claudia Now from 76 years ago, June 14th, 1948, and the story of Little Miss Fix-It.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Oh, what a weekend.
I'm exhausted.
You have to go into the office this morning.
I do.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought we might go back to breakfast after bed.
You mean vice versa?
Oh, so I do. I must be just as exhausted as you are.
Darling, why don't you get back in bed now?
Oh, I've gotten myself all dressed to be such a waste.
You are an old skinflint, you know it?
I know it. Besides, I can't let the Killians go without saying goodbye. Wouldn't be very hostessy of me.
Well, I'll say goodbye for you.
That's not the same thing. Sorry.
Saying goodbye to your guest doesn't make you a good hostess. Personally, I think you fulfilled your duties to the brim.
Thank you, sir. Now button me up the back, please.
Buttoning you up the back seems to be one of my main duties as your husband.
You mind? Is it that difficult?
It's a pleasure to fulfill it, Mrs. Norton. Now, while I've got you here, clenched in my powerful hands...
Yes!
Let me tell you that you are a very fine hostess.
Oh, is that all?
You are the finest of the fine. Having Roger and Lelia and their young son it wasn't easy with one maid.
And Mama, don't forget Mama.
Still, you were superb.
Oh, it was easy. I like the Killians. Besides, I asked for it.
You certainly did that.
Oh, don't think I wasn't scared after I invited Roger for the weekend. Especially since I didn't tell him his wife was here.
Only a nincompoop or a wise man would have dared do it.
Which am I?
I reserve judgment. I want to see the results. There. Your buttons are all buttoned.
Thanks. David.
What?
I'm not a little Miss Fix-It, am I? You scared me so.
Well, you've been trying to fix up the Killians, haven't you?
Well, that was different. They need fixing.
That makes it different.
Well, what I mean is you don't think I go around sticking my nose into other people's business where it doesn't belong, do you?
Well...
Don't say it. I hate being a busybody, and I know you'd hate being married to one.
I certainly would.
So please tell me I'm not one.
You're not one. One what?
Oh, you.
Darling, I think that what you've been trying to do for the Killians has been swell. I think if it works out, Jeffrey's going to be a very happy boy.
Poor kid, he was so alone, so lost. Till you understood him.
The only thing that matters with Jeffrey is that he never really had a home.
Do you think Roger and Leela will give him one now? What do you think they decided over the weekend? It was impossible to tell from watching him. They're so distant.
I don't know.
I won't ask them either, not even one question.
question.
That'll be a strain.
I bet you think I can't do it.
I'm willing to be surprised.
David, are you hopeful for them? Asking you questions isn't part of the bet.
Well, frankly, I don't think that at rock bottom either Roger or Leela were meant for each other. If they hadn't had a son, it wouldn't have mattered so much, but unfortunately it did.
Must be awful not to be meant to be married. Rock bottom, I mean. So lonesome.
Probably even lonesomer than not being married at all.
We're meant, though, aren't we, darling?
We certainly are.
At the rockiest rock bottom?
The rockiest. We've got a pure, solid stone foundation.
Oh, David, I love you.
You do?
Yes. You know, seeing Roger and Leela together all weekend, married, and still so far apart, it just made me love you much more.
Me too.
Darling.
I have to make a train, remember?
Oh, you and your trains. Those trains are always interfering with our privacy.
That is the happy lot of the commuter.
And his missus.
So, missus, if you will kindly unwrap yourself from me.
You are unwrapped.
I'll re-wrap myself into my coat and we shall go down to breakfast.
I hope Mama has the sense to sleep late.
I made her promise to last night.
You're the only one who has any influence.
Oh, I'm a very influential guy.
The main reason I married you. You influenced me. Shh. Is there anybody?
Not a peep.
Not a Mama or a Killian in sight.
Hard to believe.
Gertrude must be here because... Hey, look, the table's set.
Well, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't sit down and commence eating, do you?
None at all. Commence.
Oh, prunes again.
That's life. You have to take the bad with the good.
Prunes is bad.
There he is.
What is?
Oh, prunes. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning, both. I've been outside, romping with your dog. It's a beautiful morning, and I am very rested.
Where's Leela and Jeffrey?
They'll be down. Now, what about prunes?
Eat them.
With pleasure.
Now, there's a man after my own heart.
Where are you going?
Into the kitchen, see what else there is for breakfast.
You're not fooling me. You're running away from 4 harmless little prunes.
Who says they're harmless?
That's my line.
Are you always like this, you two?
Like what, Roger?
Do you wake up feeling good every morning?
Nobody does.
I think you do. I wish I were 20 years younger.
You wouldn't appreciate it.
That's true. The pity is that one doesn't get born old and progress through life towards childhood to die in the cradle.
This is fine talk.
I mean it. It's a much better plan.
I'll speak to the authorities about it. Though, actually, children are the wisest.
Perhaps. Then in my case, life has uneducated me. It's gotten more complicated and distressing, and I have gotten more stupid with it yearly.
Say, I thought you felt rested this morning.
I do. And so I see everything very clearly. It's because of Claudia, too. She's remained wise, David. Wise as a guiltless child.
I think she's a pretty fine person, too.
Perhaps you could tell her for me. False pride, probably, that I can't do it myself. Tell her, thank you.
Thank her for what?
Well, it sounds so foolish in words, but Leela and I have decided to stop living our independent lives and to try and create a home for Jeffrey. He's got a whole life ahead of him. We can give him a few years of the rest of ours.
Claudia would tell you that you're not giving those years away, Roger. They're going to be yours.
We'll see. At any rate, it's settled.
That's what we hoped.
What's going on? You haven't eaten one prune, either of you.
Oh, what careless oversight. Here I go. How delicious.
I brought in the bacon and eggs.
What's the matter with Gertrude?
She's busy popping the popovers. How many places do you want her to be in at one time?
You shouldn't be carrying heavy things.
Oh, what's heavy about a few eggs? 2 for you, for Roger, 1 for me.
Why only 1 for you?
Because I'm a girl.
A girl who is about to become a mother should not eat like a plain girl.
You mind your own business.
Do you hear how she talks to me, Roger?
Oh, I pity you.
Besides, I take my orders from Dr. Rowland, not from you.
I'm only your husband, of course.
That's all.
Whatever Claudia says, I'm on her side.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late for breakfast. You're not late, Leela. We're early.
Tact personified.
I just want some coffee.
I won't even try to coax you tomorrow, Leela.
Say, you're a very special person around here, Leela. Roger and I don't get coaxed. We get forced.
Bodily.
You've got to be forced, you men.
There's such prejudice here against my sex. I think I'll go and get in the car and take it out of the garage.
But the popovers!
Let them pop.
We must stand together, David.
Together.
Let them pop, Claudia. I'm going up to pack.
Oh, I hate you both.
Be down in a minute.
We've got only a half hour till train time, Roger.
I'll be with you, and I think my son is going to need some protein.
It's the same thing every morning. Rush, 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 rush.
But it seems to agree with you and David.
I wouldn't want it any other way. Except for the rushing.
Even that's all right. When it's the two of you in the same direction.
You sure you won't have anything but coffee? Oh, don't say it. I forgot. No coaxing. Sorry.
All right. I'll have a piece of toast.
My, that was easy.
You know, I really hate to go back into town this morning.
I don't blame you. I'd hate it myself.
Maybe if Roger and I had started out like this, on a farm of our own.
Didn't you know? It was Roger's idea that we should.
I'm glad somebody's benefited from our mistakes. Though I dare say you'd have managed pretty well without advice.
Advice from a friend like Roger is very good to have. I'm glad we took it.
I envy you, Claudia. You've kept your life so simple.
Well, maybe it's just because I'm too much of a coward about life to let it get complicated.
That's not cowardice. That's sense.
Besides, David wouldn't let me.
You're a funny child.
Only I'm not a child.
You're not a child. In some ways. And because of those ways, it looks as if I'm going to spend a summer dabbling in marriage instead of in politics.
Marriage can't be dabbled in, Leela.
Why, I didn't mean it the way it sounded.
I think it's a lot more complicated than politics. Lots more fun, too. And the rewards are much, much deeper.
Maybe they are. I'll try to find out.
I'm so glad you've decided.
You decided for me.
I did.
When you sheltered my son and brought my husband up here.
If I were you and you were me, I think I'd hate me for butting in.
I'm just as surprised as you are that I don't. At any rate, we're going to give it a try.
Well, the car's purring happily in the driveway. Where are all the Killians?
The men are still upstairs. I'll go see what's keeping them.
Roger and Jeffrey probably swapping tall tales about trout fishing.
Those two are so much alike. If I don't watch my step, I'll be left out.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you find out what you wanted to know?
Is that why you left us alone? I could have killed you.
Now, take the murder out of your eye and tell me everything.
Nosy. I'll have you know I didn't ask one question.
My, oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. Congratulations.
Well, I should think you would congratulate me. David, I am embarrassed. I am a Miss Fix-It.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations even more.
Darling, it's worthwhile because Leela and Roger are going to try and make it go again. It's exciting, isn't it?
I hope so.
Even if it's not forever, it's for Jeffrey. That's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's a remark to go down in the books. It's a very unfathomable remark.
Well, I'm a very unfathomable girl.
That you are.
You admit it.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Oh, yes, Roger said to tell you thank you.
What for heaven's sake?
For everything. For the weekend, for Leela, for
Then
Jeffrey.
you knew, too, all the time that they decided to get together, and you never told me you were
I didn't ask one question, not one single question. As a matter of fact, Roger just walked right up to me and told me.
Oh, it's not fair. I never can know anything that you don't know. Makes me furious.
Little Miss Fix-It.
Don't you dare call me that.
Why not? You called yourself that just a half hour ago. I heard you say it, just as plain as you could speak. David, am I a little Miss Fix-It?
Well, you said I wasn't. Anyway, it's one thing for me to call myself something, and it's quite another thing for you to call myself something.
Then it's all right if I call you darling.
Oh, David, you call me darling. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Dum dum da dum dum. La 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 la.
When you're downtown and stop at a fountain or tea room at noon, I'm sure you often join the men and girls who regularly order ice-cold Coca-Cola with their luncheon sandwich or salad. Why not have Coke when you lunch at home? It's so simple, and Coke goes good with any food. Even leftovers taste better when they're accompanied by delicious Coca-Cola. And the afternoon duties are somehow more easily accomplished when you lunch refreshed.
Hi there, Joe.
David, how be you?
I be fine, though a little ragged around the edges.
I should think you would be, David. It must have been quite a weekend.
Oh, it was. But who cares? It all turned out fine.
And that's what was really important. But now the most important thing is for you to see that Claudia takes it easy again.
Well, she's made up her mind to it, and I certainly hope that nothing comes up to change it.
Well, I think it's not going to be as simple as it sounds.
Hmm? What do you mean?
Well, I have an idea that Claudia's going to try to wangle another trip into New York tomorrow.
A trip into New York? Oh, no.
All because of an innocent little cable, and you'd better be alert to it, David.
I will be. See you tomorrow, Joe.
All right. Goodbye, David. As I was about to say, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. And now here's a word from your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola.
And be sure to ask Nick for his old Nick candy bar. Do that. All righty. 76 years ago, June 14th, 1948, Claudia, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have yourself a great day. Tomorrow, for our Saturday edition, Crime with Crime and Peter Chambers. This is your FBI, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, Suspense, and Claudia. Have yourself a great Friday. Hope your week was great, and hope your weekend is a blast. For Classic Radio Theater, I'm Wyatt Cox.